Hello dear fellows, I'm Rudi Messiah. Welcome to another episode of Heavy Talk. I watched the video where Rick Beato explained in his words why music have lost its value. And I shrink that to 1 minute and I put that reel on Instagram and everybody went crazy. And honestly, I didn't expect that it will explode like this. And I saw a huge amount of people cursing the old guy who is yelling at the sky and I don't know what. So I'm gonna say that in simple words before going deep into that. If you think that what Rick Beato said is wrong, you are wrong. Because he stated facts in his own wording. So factual stuff are not very much negotiable, you know. But before going into that, I'm gonna meet you halfway and say that what he said could be understood as generalizing, and could be understood that all the new music is shitty, all the new generation doesn't value music as we, the older guys, valued it. Okay, I understand that could be, frustrating to listen to, but I don't think he meant it this way. If we don't want to see him as a generalizer here, don't take his words personally, because it's not personal, okay? Especially that he had on his show guests from very young generation, very brilliant musicians. So you are wrong if he thought that he is wrong, because we can't now reinvent the wheel and start new basics for simple economics, supply and demand. We cannot now create a new understanding for human nature. If you are a very rich man and you have all the luxury cars in the world and you have all the sports cars in the world, this thing will lose its brightness for you. It will become dull. It will become like a regular thing. It's very accessible for you. You can buy whatever you want, so you will find something else to give you pleasure. That's basic human nature. I don't care if this chocolate on my shelf expire, because I have this box here that has tons of the same chocolate. I have endless supply of this chocolate. I own the factory, I don't care. To go through the points that he made, first thing he talks about is the experience itself. This is the new experience. Okay, the phone is turned off. Skipping songs on Spotify, for example. This is the experience of yesterday. I took the name of my band, ex-band, dissolved band, the Hourglass, from this song for Sabotage. You read in the back, the two experiences are incomparable. And the info that you have, that you take firsthand without you going into Google, that info was important because it was in your face, and you start to learn about your favorite bands, who record what, who plays what. This whole thing, Bob Rock and the Black Album, the whole story of that. Second thing he talked about is, he said, making music is very easy. Yes, making music today is very easy. And if you don't know shit about music, if you don't know shit about theory, you can do a certain song very easily. I have this complete control keyboard here. I press one button, I can change to every scale in the world. It can give me arpeggios, it can give me sequences. I just press simple buttons and a whole lovely sequence of arpeggiated chords comes out in the mood that I want. I can even put on dark mood, happy mood. There are tons of software that does this thing. Even your DAWs can do this thing. Now there is even AI. You can press simple words and have a demo song. You can rebuild it up. So yes, composing music is very easy. You don't have to be talented. That's a fact of today. That doesn't mean that all the music is tasteless, all the music is robotic, that there are no great musicians today. That doesn't mean that. Third point, recording music is very cheap. Now with simple tools, with a few $100, you can record your own music. And the dark side of that is the quality of the recordings went down. But the good side of that, if you are a musician, if you are a young guy who wants to start your music career, if you are an amateur musician, you can do that without spending a fortune. When I first recorded the first album of the Hourglass that I talked about, I spent $5,000 only for the recording in a professional studio. Fourth point is, publishing is very cheap today also. When you wanted in the past to publish your music, you had to print the CDs or the cassettes or the vinyl, you have to print the booklet, you have to buy the plastic cases, you have to fold them all together, you have to do some shipping, you have to do licensing. There was a lot of costs that you spend. And fifth point is, the end product is for free. When you pay $10 a month for every music in the world, that means it's for free. Okay, and the artist doesn't get any dime. Take also AI, take also the music libraries. I'm a composer. No corporation would come to me for their commercial, because now they can buy for $30 from a music library a musical piece for 15 seconds and put on their commercial. They don't need a composer anymore, and now there is AI also add to that. So the result of all of this, huge supply, very little demand, the quality of the music and the quality of the recording went down, the public taste of music went down. These facts of today flooded the internet with shitty music. Everyone can create music, everyone can publish it. Streaming platforms are robbing everyone because corporations hate family business, because corporations hate you would be an independent artist or an independent baker. They want to take everything. So if you are an independent musician, no, you have to come work for us. If you are a doctor, that's the most independent craft in the world. No, don't open your own clinic. You have to come to a bigger clinic. You have to be an employee. So when they don't pay you shit for your music, you will not be an independent artist. You will not be an independent human being. You will be an employee. And there is basic clash of interest or conflict of interest between the musician and the fan, because the musician is the producer and the fan is the end user, and the customer always prefers everything for free. That's common sense. So it's simple. When it's for free, it lost its value already. There are a lot of corporations and streaming platforms and others who took hold of everything. So it's not only Spotify.
And Harry, Jimmy, Trent, wherever you are out there, fuck you too.
So what now happens, this guy comes to me, okay, you have Focusrite with his calculator, and you have these monitors, you have these guitars, you have this synthesizer, blah blah. Your album cost you $120. This is the depreciation of your equipment and your rent and everything. $120 if you sold 1,000 copies. That means I'll pay you 12 cents for your album. That's not how it works, asshole. When you go and buy a pizza, there's this pizza that costs you $10, $3 for the cost of the ingredients, $3 for the depreciation of everything, the kitchen and the decoration, and there is $4 for the chef, for the know-how. He spent 2 decades to give you this pizza. When you go to the doctor and he puts his finger in your butthole and in 5 seconds he can know the problem, it took him 15 years of studying, 20 years of experience to know in 5 seconds the problem of your butthole, asshole. So the know-how as a musician worth the money. But there is competition, like every manpower in the world. When there is no need for that manpower anymore, when there is a lot of supply, the cost will crash. I challenge you now to find another craft on this planet that lost its value as music and musicianship. Nothing compared to that. So me as a composer and as a guitarist, I found that there's more hope in me creating content about music instead of music itself. It's a burden to create music in this world, especially when you have family and you have a little kid, and you know. Rick didn't present any solution. I understand that. And I understand in being a boomer, because just people hate when their delusions are challenged, you know. So the boomer talk, he didn't present any solution. I understand that because there is no solution for now. It's only going downhill. He just presented, you know, the problem in simple words. One of the solution is that the old, you know, guards of music, the surviving great bands like Metallica, who are still active, who did the right thing, because me as a fan, like everybody else, spent a whole decade stealing music from musicians until I decided to become a professional musician, and I understood that this is wrong, okay? These bands, the surviving bands, Tom Morello, Metallica, take your pick, you know, until these bands do some kind of revolutionary thing and they boycott streaming platforms and they sell only on Bandcamp or on their official websites their music, I don't think this is going to be any kind of solution. And when these people, you know, these bands pass away and go, it's over. Musicians lost the battle forever. So if this young kid comes and says, I don't want to go digital, not only not putting my music on streaming platform, I'm not even selling on Bandcamp, I'm only publishing my music on discs. Nobody's gonna buy your music. There's a lot of free stuff. Hey, everything is free in this festival. I'm not gonna pay you a single dime for what you do. Rick Beato was right. You don't have to be angry. And it is a dark age of music, whether we like it or not, because this is the fact. There are no solutions, and I only presented a theoretical, you know, solution about the revolution of the old guards of music. This will not happen, most probably, and no problem in stating the dark facts. Thank you for watching.
If I were the man I was 5 years ago, I'd take a flamethrower to this place!